Hello and welcome to this edition of You and the Law. On You and the Law, what I do on this channel principally is to look at the issues of law in the breaking news, discuss them for everybody to understand what the law says on them. But from time to time, I walk away from the breaking news and discuss other issues that affect everyday living. This is one of such instances that I am discussing something outside the breaking news. In this edition of You and the Law, I am continuing on my series on fundamental rights. I did say at the commencement of this year that I'm going to discuss all the fundamental rights in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I have taken up discussion on the right to life, the right to dignity of the human person, the right to personal liberty, and this is the fourth discussion on the fourth fundamental right in the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And what is this right? It is the right to fair hearing. It is a fundamental right to fair hearing, which is available to everybody standing trial in a court of law, or everybody having one civil question or issue to respond to. He is entitled to the right to fair hearing. My name is Ekemi Nudim. I am a legal practitioner, and I'm always glad to know that you're there keeping me company on this channel. I tell you, without you, this journey would have been lonely. But with you subscribing to this channel, I see increase in subscription every day. I see increase in views every day. And I get encouraged that you are keeping me company on this channel. Just like one of the football clubs in England would say that you will never walk alone. So for me on this channel, I'm always encouraged that I am not walking alone. I'm always happy that we are forming a community of people that will always create time to sit down, watch, and learn in the most informal way about the basic principles of law. The right to fair hearing is a right guaranteed in Section 36 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And what does it mean? It simply means the right to allow me to express myself if anything is said about me. That's the meaning. You've said something about me. The law says, don't shut me out from talking, from expressing myself. So let me express myself. Let me accept what you have said. Or let me disagree and reject what you have said and offer my explanation. No one should be condemned unheard. That is the central theme in the right to fair hearing. So I deserve to be heard. My neighbor deserves to be heard. The high and mighty in society, they deserve also to be heard. The less privileged persons in society, they also deserve to be heard, because fundamental rights are available to everybody, irrespective of status, irrespective of political affiliation, irrespective of race, irrespective of religion, irrespective of anything. Fundamental rights are available to everybody. And a very significant fundamental right, like the right to fair hearing, is available also to everybody. And it simply means the right to hear me out whenever something is said about me. Now, how global is this right? Is this just a local right known only to the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria? No. It's a fundamental right available globally. In every democracy in the world, fundamental right to fair hearing is recognized. In the African Charter, which is a regional human rights charter in Africa, the right to fair hearing is given a pride of place. In the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, the right to fair hearing is given a pride of place. In other regional charters on human rights, the right to fair hearing is given its pride of place. Countries have also domesticated the right to fair hearing into their constitutions, like the Nigerian Constitution has done in Section 36. Now, to go back memory lane a little, it's often asked what's the origin of fair hearing. And scholars have said that fair hearing started from the Garden of Eden in the Christian Bible. And what they're saying is that when Adam offended the commandments of the Creator who is all-knowing understood exactly what Adam did. He could see from wherever he is that Adam had breached the commandment. But the Creator, in spite of being all-knowing, allowed Adam the opportunity to express himself. And so the Creator asked him, Adam, what did you do? Why did you do this? And Adam had an opportunity to respond and told the Creator that he did what he did as a result of, he did what he did because the serpent asked him to do it. And the woman there asked him to also do it, his wife. And so, Adam was given an opportunity to be heard. He wasn't just punished. So that's the origin, according to scholars. That's the origin of fair hearing globally. That's how fair hearing is traceable to the Creator himself. And so it is expected that in every society, in every democracy, in every government, in every part of the world, human persons should be given an opportunity to be heard, and no one should be condemned unheard. But before I proceed, let's look at the Constitution, to read the exact words of the Constitution, and I'm going to follow the reading with some explanation so that you can also have a broader understanding of the provisions of the law on these significant rights to fair hearing. So as you can see displayed on the screen, 36 sub 1 says, in the determination of his civil rights and obligations, underline civil rights and obligations, including any question or determination by or against any government or authority, a person shall be entitled to fair hearing within a reasonable time by a court or tribunal established by law and constituted in such manner as to secure his independence and impartiality. Now, what this simply means is that any person that sees himself in a court of law for the determination of his civil rights, maybe someone is accusing him that he committed a thought of defamation against him, or he has taken possession of his property. That's a civil matter. And the person, all the parties should be given an opportunity to be heard. They should express themselves in court. And also, the hearing should be done within a reasonable time. So, reasonable time in hearing a matter is also an aspect of fair hearing. Now, in section 36 sub 4, it says, whenever any person is charged with a criminal offense, this time around it is criminal, he shall, unless the charge is withdrawn, be entitled to a fair hearing in public within a reasonable time by a court or tribunal. Now, the implication of this is that in criminal trials, when someone is accused of committing an offense, the person should be given an opportunity to be heard, and he should not be condemned unheard. Another thing that the Constitution has mentioned in this subsection is the fact that the hearing must be done in public and also must be done within a reasonable time by the court. So no delay is allowed. Okay? And no one is expected to be tried in secret, but must be tried in public, being an incident of fair hearing. However, there are exceptions to that rule. It could be for a reason of security, that someone is allowed to be tried without allowing other people to come in, without doing it in public. Okay? Now, subsection 5, also displayed on the screen, says, every person who is charged with a criminal offense shall be presumed to be innocent until he is proved guilty. Now, the implication of this is that no one should be condemned unheard. No one should be condemned without giving him an opportunity to prove his innocence. So, an accused person taken before the court of law is presumed to be innocent at all times until the otherwise is proved against him. Okay, so as you also see sub 6 displayed on the screen for you to see, it says, every person who is charged with a criminal offense shall be entitled to A, be informed promptly in the language that he understands and in detail of the nature of the offense. So, every person that is charged to court should first be informed in the language that he understands. So if he understands English, that's the language of the charge. That should be the language of the charge. If he doesn't understand English language, the charge could be read in English language, but interpreted to him in the language that he understands. And also the nature of the offense has to be made known to him. Now, sub B says he should be given adequate time and facility for preparation of his defense. He should not just be hurried into defending himself and in the process not having time to prepare for his defense. C says to defend himself in person or by legal practitioners of his own choice. So every accused person has the right to choose a legal practitioner of his choice to defend him in any charge preferred against him. Then D says to examine in person or by his legal practitioners the witness is called by the prosecution before any court or tribunal, and to obtain their attendance and carry out the examination of witnesses to testify on his behalf before the court or tribunal in the same conditions as those applying to witnesses called by the prosecution. So this provision allows the right to cross-examination of witnesses to all the parties, and that's part of the requirement of the law on fair hearing. E says, have without payment the assistance of an interpreter if he cannot understand the language used at the trial of the offense. So this provision simply says if he does not understand the language of the charge, an interpreter should interpret it to him, and that should be free of charge without charging him any kobo. Now, subsection 7 says, when a person is tried for any criminal offense, the court or tribunal shall keep a record of the proceedings. No, Moses, don't put that word. Okay, so you've seen the high point of the provisions on fair hearing as have been itemized and displayed on the screen, and also some explanations, given. Now you can see the meaning of the right to fair hearing. Everybody is entitled to this right, and no one should be deprived of any of the provisions in this right. Now, anybody who alleges that he was not given fair hearing in a court of trial, such decision that was made against him is obviously going to be set aside by the Court of Appeal for lack of fair hearing. Now, you can see that fair hearing is very significant. It runs through the entire justice system. Be it criminal trial, be it civil trial, fair hearing is sacrosanct. It must be respected. It must be adhered to. There is no room for jumping of fair hearing. Any jumping of fair hearing is a breach of the judicial process, and that breach is usually visited with the nullification of the decision of the trial court or of the trial tribunal and so on. So fair hearing is very significant. It is germane to the hearing of all matters in a court of law of competent jurisdiction all over Nigeria as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I am entitled to fair hearing at all times. You are entitled to fair hearing at all times. Our neighbors, any other person, anyone who is accused of anything, and you can never say that you will never be accused of anything. Anyone can be accused of anything. But at any time one is accused of the commission of any wrong, the law says you must give that person an opportunity to be heard. Anything outside that, the proceedings will certainly be set aside at the Court of Appeal for the proceedings not being in tandem with the provisions of the Constitution. Thank you very much for watching this very episode of You and the Law. I do hope you have learned one or two things about the principles of law on fair hearing, which is a fundamental right, which means it cannot be breached without doing violence to the Constitution. I remain your friend, I remain your lawyer, I remain your host on this channel. My name is Ekemi Nudim, and I'm always glad to know that you are there. Thank you, and remain blessed. But don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that from time to time we can send you notifications on every new video. Don't also forget to share this video with any network, with any social media platform that you belong to, so that your friends can also have the benefit of listening to You and the Law. Thank you, and remain blessed.